Hello friends. So in the previous classes we have discussed the general characteristic of the pteridophytes. In the today's class we will discuss the um, first class of the pteridophyte, that's a Psilotopsida, with an example that's a Psilotum. Okay, so in this class we will study the introduction, classification, occurrence and external and internal morphology of the Psilotum. The Psilotum is commonly known as fisk fern, and usually the Psilotum have the generally they are called rootless, leafless pteridophyte. The Psilotum is generally called as rootless, leafless pteridophyte. So usually the Psilotum is commonly grow in a shady areas, or usually where actually the tree space is there generally nutrition will accumulate in those places. Commonly natural habitat the Psilotum will be grow. Okay, the sporophyte, the general characteristic of the Psilotum. First, the sporophyte are simple, dichotomously branching. The true leaves and the true roots both are absent. That's why I told the Psilotum is called as rootless, leafless pteridophyte. Okay, so usually the next character, that's a stem, underground stem will be there. That's a rhizome. The unicellular rhizoids will be present, and they consist of the root hairs. The aerial stem are green and carrying out photosynthetic activity, lacking the secondary growth due to the absence of cambium. The reproductive structure, that is a sporangia, develop at the some of the aerial branches, that is called synangia. So usually meiosis produces haploid spores with the sporangia, the best examples. So gametophyte is remarked similar to that of the rhizome of the sporophyte, and usually the gametophyte are non-photosynthetic in structure. The coming to the classification, that's division Pteridopsida, subdivision Psilotopsida, order Psilotails, the family Psilotaceae. So example Psilotum. So coming to the habitat, so usually the commonly there are two species of Psilotum will be occurs, that is Psilotum nudium and Psilotum flaccidum will be there. The Psilotum nudium is grow in tropical and subtropical regions, and Psilotum flaccidum, they are epiphyte and especially grow in a tree trunk. Okay, and even some other species of the Psilotum will also occur. So usually commonly they occur in a forest areas. Coming to the sporophyte, that's a first morphology. So this is the green thalide sporophyte. So what you are looking in a picture, so that is a sporophytic structure. So usually the plant body, that sporophyte, consists of the septarian rhizomes and dichotomous branching of the aerial shoot in a photos, so you very easily so you can recognize. The next is a rhizome. The rhizome is mostly hidden below the humus, especially in case of the epiphyte, because they will be buried inside the humus soil. So usually they are dichotomous branching, and branching rhizome may in some cases later even irregular branching pattern will also occurs. Rhizome lacks the roots and harbors the sometime endophytic fungi will be present, and they help for the nutritional absorption. And usually this is the aerial part, and they consist of the branching pattern, and they may be 15 to 20 centimeter long, erect and pendant. The axis bears the dichotomous branching. This is how the structure of the synangia, what you are looking, the yellowish color tripartite structure, that is a synangia. And usually these synangia are mainly key role in the production of the spores. That's why they are also called sporangia. Okay, the coming to the this is what we studied, that's a morphological structure. Coming to the anatomical structure, The TS of rhizome consists of mainly three zones, that is epidermis, cortex and the stellar region. Epidermis is single layer and composed of the uninterrupted thin walled cells, that's a cuticle, and usually cortex. Next to the epidermis, the broad parenchymatous cortex will be there, and this cortex region is distinct into a three zones. Okay, outer cortex, and usually the characterized by the endophytic mycorrhiza, and the middle cortex and the inner cortex region. And inner cortex region, they consist of the folobens, and usually they help for the production of tannins. Okay, in the next central region, that is called as a stellar region. Inner of to the cortex, the well developed endodermis with the Casparian strips on the radial walls, single layered pericycle of the parenchymatous layer which enrich the protostele. So what we have to be observed in case of the pteridophyte, that's the stellar arrangement, that is a protostele, mixed protostele, heptanostele. So like that, there are different types of stele will be present in case of the pteridophytes, because they are the vasculature plant, that's the arrangement of the xylem and phloem. In the center, pith region will be there. Okay, stele of the young rhizome will be there. Few tracheids are also present. And coming to the aerial shoot, that is this is the structure of the aerial shoot. Just like a root, shoot is also consist of epidermis, cortex and the stellar region. Epidermis is single layer and cutinized, and usually each one, they consist of the dumbbell shaped stomata will be interrupted by the aerial shoot. They help for the exchanging of the gases. Below that you can find the cortex. Again, the cortex is three distinct region, that's the outer, middle and the inner cortex region. Outer cortex region, 2 to 3 layers, they are chlorenchymatous, help for the photosynthetic structure. And the middle cortex has 4 to 5 layers of the sclerenchymatous cells, and inner cortex consists of the thick walled parenchymatous cells. They rich in the starch. The center portion, that's the stellar region, they consist of the endodermal layer, and also the Casparian strips will be there. They consist of the siphonostele. Stem portion consists of the siphonostele, and the sclerenchymatous pith will be present. Okay, and usually radius, the phloem is completely surrounded, which is several layers thick, and usually sclerenchymatous with the gradually diminishing towards the base part of the aerial shoot, and they became the actinostele like arrangement will be present. Okay, this is how the structure, the in a picture it is clearly showing that the arrangement of the star shaped, that's a siphonostelic region in the stem portion of the xylotum. Okay, so this is how the generally the morphology, that is a morphology and anatomy of the xylotum. So usually in the today's class we are just discuss the morphology, that's a simple how actually the thallus is of the xylophyte is looking like. And usually the xylotum is called as whiskey fern, and it is also called rootless leafless pteridophyte, and it's commonly grow in the tropical and subtropical regions. There are the xylotum nudium and the xylotum, that's a common species occur in that region. And usually if you look at the morphologically, it is a simple green, just like a straight erected thallus will be there, and they consist of synangia. But if you take the anatomical region of the rhizome region, they consist of the stellar region will be there, and even in the stem also consist of the stellar region, that's a siphonostele will be there, and that's a actinostele also there. Okay, so this is the overview of the morphology and anatomy of xylotum. In the next video we will discuss the reproduction of the xylotum. I hope you will get the concept. So if you have any doubt, so you can discuss in a live session. Thank you.